Good, happy Tuesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your 8 p.m. news and weather. Let's get started. First Step Outreach Program offers new model to help those dealing with addiction. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
Feel it, but some body washes can contain cleansers found in dish soap. Dove body wash is different. It has only the gentlest cleansers.
Just made me feel good.
This is Dove.
Here in the office of Aware Recovery Care in Bedford, you will find people all with different backgrounds, but working together on a common goal: to help those suffering from addiction.
We like to set ourselves aside from the traditional industry.
Matthew Ecott is the vice president of Aware Recovery Care. Once a client of the program himself, he knows firsthand how it can change lives.
I was working every day, showing up to work, leaving work on time. I was involved in a relationship for the first time with a healthy person.
The program, covered by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, started in Connecticut and has now expanded here to New Hampshire.
It's more looking at newer ways to deliver a continuum of care.
Based on a visiting nurse model, Aware provides treatment in the client's home. A rehabilitation support, which includes a psychiatrist, addiction nurse, therapist, and certified recovery advisor, is also assigned.
To be able to see it in the home and in the real environment where people live, it breaks down those barriers and it gives us a different perspective to observe and report what's really going on.
And the experts here say in order to see long-term rehab results, addiction has to be looked at as a mental disorder.
In order to recover, there needs to be recovery of the brain, and that takes time, just like recovery from any other illness.
In Bedford, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Sununu calls for holding off of new state hires, questions Hassan's surplus. Let's take a listen to this video from NH1 News.
Winter weather. It's hard. NH1 First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Joe Joyce and Meteorologist Brian Breton, only on NH1 News.
It's not dire. The situation is not a dire situation, certainly not as bad as we have seen in the past.
Governor Chris Sununu talking today about the state's fiscal health, but the new governor says that he's got his work cut out to make sure that he can keep the current budget balanced. NH1's political director Paul Steinhauser with that story tonight.
Our current situation today is that we are right now about $40 million ahead of budget.
Governor Chris Sununu talking about New Hampshire's revenues, but adding,
on the spending side, we have some very serious issues. Health and Human Services currently has a $65 million spending problem.
The state's first Republican governor in a dozen years vowing,
we are going to manage. We are going to get things back on track.
The new governor quickly making news at his first news conference.
I'm asking the commissioners to hold off on any new hiring as we go forward until we have a better handle on both the short and long-term impact on the spending. It doesn't mean that we should not hire anyone. But what it does mean is that we will scrutinize each opening as it happens.
On the problems at the Department of Health and Human Services,
I wouldn't classify it as mismanagement. I think that it needs some additional management.
Last month, outgoing Democratic Governor Maggie Hassan, who's now the state's newest U.S. Senator, highlighting,
we have a $130 million preliminary surplus from this past fiscal year.
Asked by NH1 News about the surplus, Sununu said,
I'm not sure if it ever existed, to be honest, and because when we got in and actually got the data and started looking at the numbers, it's not there. It's either been overspent or not controlled where it needed to be controlled. And so, unfortunately, the $130 million surplus that we heard about, that's just not a reality for us at this time.
At the State House, I'm NH1 News political director Paul Steinhauser.
Okay, and there you go on that report. President Obama commutes bulk of Chelsea Manning's 35-year sentence. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Those work so fast, you'll ask, what bad back? What pulled hammy? Advil liquid gels make pain a distant memory. Nothing works faster, stronger, or longer. What? Pain Advil.
Fact. People spend less time lying awake with aches and pains with Advil PM than with Tylenol PM. Advil PM combines the #1 pain reliever with the #1 sleep aid. Gentle, non-habit-forming Advil PM for a healing night's sleep.
Another breaking news story, and President Obama has just commuted the sentence of Chelsea Manning. Manning is a U.S. Army soldier who is a transgender female who is now in Leavenworth. She was convicted of leaking documents that to WikiLeaks back in 2013. She tried committing suicide twice last year. She's been serving a 35-year sentence. Ms. Manning is set to be freed in 5 months in May. But again, President Obama has just commuted Chelsea Manning's sentence.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Take that dream trip now while you still don't need a visa. Global mobility to travel without visas and visit a new country saw an upsurge from last year, but it won't last as restrictions loom from Brexit to U.S. immigration curbs and wider anti-globalization sentiment. Global advisory from firm Archer Capital said. Accused cop killer captured, Orlando police say. The man accused of killing an Orlando police officer last week has been captured and is in custody, according to the Orlando Police Department. Markeith Lloyd is suspected of killing Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton when she tried to approach him at an Orlando area Walmart on Monday, January 9th. Clayton was a master sergeant in the police department at the time of her death. She was posthumously promoted to lieutenant. And now, time for your weather. Your weather for tonight: snow with a mix possible at times, lows near 30 degrees, 3 to 6 inches likely by morning. For tomorrow, mainly cloudy with some snow showers around in the morning, highs in the mid-30s. For Wednesday night, cloudy skies, lows in the 20s. And we have 35, 36 closings and delays reported right now. And that is it for your 8 p.m. news and weather right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday night. Good night, everyone. Bye.